Fast and Furious 11 will supposedly be the final movie in the long-running franchise, bringing Dom Toretto's Vin Diesel story to an end through his ongoing rivalry with Jason Momoa's dynamic villain, Dante Reyes. However, although Reyes is one of Fast and Furious' best villains, it's still hard to imagine how Dom's story is ever going to end. He seemingly can't be defeated, and he's not displayed any willingness to step back from the game in the recent sequels. If Dante can't bring Dom's journey to a close, something else will have to trigger the character's ending in Fast 11. Ultimately, the only way Fast 11 can end this franchise is by giving Dom a happy ending through the one thing that means the most to him, his family. Several loose threads need to be tied up in this final installment, and several of them could effectively shift Dom's family dynamic in a way that finally gives him a reason to step back and retire. The most obvious of these would be through his complex relationship with Letty Ortiz, Michelle Rodriguez. Fast X set up Letty getting pregnant with Dom. Letty may be hiding her pregnancy with Dom's second child. Michelle Rodriguez looking sideways as Letty in F9. Although it was never confirmed, Fast X teased that Letty may be pregnant with Dom's second child. During one of the movie's few quiet moments, Letty jokingly suggests that she may be pregnant, to which Dom seems content but merely laughs. It's a very subtle moment, and it plays like a surface-level joke upon first viewing, but it could be setting up something more concrete in their future, since Fast 11 will likely continue the feud between Reyes and Toretto. Giving Dom something else to fight for seems like the most obvious way of dragging him back into the fight. He needs an extra layer of motivation to bring Reyes down for good, and protecting his unborn son is a very fitting excuse. This would be a perfect way of tying the franchise to a close, fitting with the key theme of family, which has always been such a linchpin of the series' storytelling. Letty becoming a mom will raise the stakes of Fast and Furious 11. It's about time Letty had a family of her own. Letty's characterization has admittedly taken somewhat of a hit in recent sequels. She's often been demoted to just another of Dom's sidekicks, while Diesel's protagonist continues to dominate the series' screen time. Making Letty pregnant would be an excellent way of giving her character more depth and bringing her relationship with Dom back into the spotlight. It's not that she needs an excuse to be one of Fast and Furious' main characters again, but this would definitely be the most natural way of rectifying her lessened arc in recent years. A child would raise the stakes for both Letty and Dom. The former would have the added burden of raising a newborn child while her family is being placed under threat, and the latter would be forced to split his time between little B and the newborn. It seems like the perfect way of adding new levels of pressure to an already stressful story, and that's exactly what Fast 11 needs to make it the biggest and boldest sequel yet. Letty and Dom having a child would be a great way to wrap up their story. The couple deserves their final happy ending. As mentioned, Dom and Letty having another child seems like the most suitable way of wrapping up their story. Assuming the writers are going to give them a happy ending, which seems the most likely at this stage, there needs to be some incentive for Dom to step back from the world of racing and espionage and focus on himself for a while. This would be doubly powerful as it mirrors Brian's ending in Furious 7. At this stage, Dom wasn't ready to retire like his friend was, but he may be now. The news that he's having a second child couldn't come at a better time for Dom's story in Fast and Furious 11. Not only would he finally have to acknowledge that he can't balance a family with his extreme work, but his feud with Dante would also make him realize that his action-packed lifestyle is putting his loved ones in danger. The combination of this threatening villain, who caused the deaths of Dom's brother and several of his friends, and this potential new family might just be enough to make Dom see sense.